right, welcome back as we celebrate Preakness Stakes weekend. Of course, the 151st Preakness Stakes will be run at Laurel Park on Saturday. You can watch it live on NBC Sports. But they do run races at other racetracks around the country, including Laurel that day. And I've brought Dan Cronin from FatBallGuyRacing.com aboard. We've got some spot plays that we want to share with you. And Dan, we're going to go first. We're going to take a look at the Sir Barton Stakes, race number 6 on Saturday. And tell us, set this race up for us, if you will.
Yeah, when you look at our Barton Stakes, you got a short field. You've got two horses with speed. Final Story for Brad Cox, Irad Ortiz, and then you got Reagan's Honor for Cherie DeVoe and Jose Ortiz. So typical of big days, it's Jose or Irad. You like one of them, and that's who you bet. You can flip a coin, but Reagan's Honor I think is going to be even money. He's 7-5 morning line. I think he's going to end up even money. He's in the 7 hole. We've got Final Story in the 4 hole with Brad Cox. That's probably going to be in that 2-1, maybe even 5-2 area. And that's the horse I like because when I look at this race, first glance you say, well, Reagan's going to make the lead. And then the more I look at this, I'm not so sure he's faster than Final Story to that first turn. Final Story is a sprinter, 2 7 furlong races. One of them he made the lead in 22-4, 45-3. If Irad wants the lead and he's on the inside of the other horse, Jose's going to have to really, really use his horse to get to the lead if Irad's aggressive out of the gate, and I think he will be. So I like Final Story better. I think Brad Cox has, only got a few really good 3-year-olds, which is really rare, and I think this is one of them. This one's really good. Got beat a half a length at Gulfstream in his first start, came back at Keeneland and just aired them by 6, and it was never close. Went, 110-3 to the 6 furlong pole and 127-1, and that's that about 7 furlongs, so it's about 200 yards further. Candy Ride, you got a Giants Causeway Dam. I, but and Brad Cox is probably the best trainer on the planet.
All right. Well, there's a lot of pick fives and pick fours on that Laurel Day, Preakness Day sequence. So keep an eyes on those. You might want to use this horse as a potential single. All right. Now we've got 3 other plays we want to talk about at Churchill Downs. Night racing at Churchill Downs. The first race is at 6 o'clock, and they've got a card of 10 races. Dan, we're going to go to you first, then I've got 2 more. We're going to talk about race 2. This is a horse I like as well. Should be probably the bad news is this will be a universal single, but this one popped up on both of our radars, especially after that giant effort in her first start. Race number 2. Dan, talk about movie night number 11.
Yeah, it's William Walden who's on an absolute roll, firecracker type roll, 31% this year. I mean, that is just amazing for a young trainer with good high quality horses. He ain't doing this in the claiming game, and he draws the 11 hole. He made, like you said, a really gigantic move in his first start, and I know it was in the slop, so you got to take it with a little grain of salt, but the 3 works since then have been absolutely outstanding. The last work, when's the last time you've seen a work like this? 46-4, 5 out of 111. Now, even though we know the track's been fast at Churchill, that is flying. And she's a Speightstown. She's fast. A Windstar, the Windstar group owns. Machado takes the mount because other ones are, on the East Coast for the Preakness. You get a perfect outside post. I think she'll break much better. She's going to be really tough. You probably won't get a big price, but I'm not worried about that when I'm betting pick fives. I just want my single to win because if I can get my single to win 40, 50% of the time, it gives me a chance. And when you're betting pick fives, you're just hoping to win 1 out of 8 or 9 or 10, because you're going to get paid when you do. And movie night to me is the single in the early pick five.
Yep, no doubt about it. When I play this early pick five, I'll probably double single to my pick in race number four. Number seven, Chambersville in this allowance. Going on the grass, a mile and 16th on the grass, optional claimer, in fact, $125,000 tag, or horses that are eligible for a other than. A lot of nice names in here. You've got Dr. Agnew, who is a daughter of or excuse me, a son of the legendary Lady Eli. You've got Sharon Farrow, who's shipped in from the West Coast for Jonathan Thomas, and you've got Winter Holiday, who's had a nice win at Turfway over the winter. But I'm leaning on number seven, Chambersville. You just got to watch the last race at Keeneland. It was a first start off of a layoff. The horse had been seen racing at Turfway over the winter. It took 2 months off, resurfaced at Keeneland. You just got to watch the race. It's probably not one Jose Ortiz is going to put in his highlight reel. Obviously, he's on a roll himself, but the horse just kind of slow out of the gate, really sluggish going in the first turn. And then for some reason, Ortiz pushes the button on him and he makes a 4 or 5 wide move down the backside, gets up even with the leaders, turning for home. And, after that, he's cooked at that point. And, he fades a little bit, but he doesn't give up. And he runs third. He earns a buyer of 76 and with that effort. Legitimate buyer, career best for this horse. And now he makes his second start off a layoff, gets a better post this time. Probably a downgrade in jockey. Manny Escobar. There's nothing wrong with him, but he's no Jose Ortiz. But all the good jockeys are at Pimlico for the Preakness card. So, not too concerned about that. I think a well-timed move makes Chambersville the one to beat, and I think this horse actually has a really nice future. He's got a couple siblings that are really nice, including Bubble Rock, who's a nice turf horse, turf stakes horse for Brad Cox for the same ownership group. So Chambersville for me in race number four. Now we're going to go 2 races ahead to race number six, another fantastic allowance race, optional claimer. This is for multiple winners, and I landed on number four in the stars, 4-1 on the board. This filly races for Rusty Arnold, for G. Watts Humphrey Jr. Uh, Fantastic pedigree once again. Of course, the daughter of Into Mischief, out of a Stellar Wind, who was a really nice dirt filly back in the day for John Sadler, a daughter of Curlin. But for some reason, this filly has taken to the weeds. In the star, a winner last time out at Keeneland in the non-winners of two other than, where she narrowly got her nose down on the wire to beat Bracelet, a filly from the Brad Cox barn. Bracelet comes back to win at Churchill Downs over the weekend in the stars, 3 out of 9 lifetime, but she's 3 out of 5 on grass. And looking at Stellar Wind as an influence, maybe a horse that really wanted to go longer on the dirt. This filly likes to do just about anything. She's good at a mile and a 16th. She turns back to a mile here, and there should be enough pace in here. As I'm going to post our pace projector on the screen here, and it looks like there's enough pace in here, in considering that if all horses go, I think it should set up for her late run. I really like this filly. I think she's got stakes potential written all over her. So for me, number four in the stars will probably kick off a late pick five for me. That's race number six. Kicks off the late pick five at Churchill Downs. All right.
And you got another free square 2 races later because Burnham Square is going to be 1-9.
Right.
So you could have a nice cheap ticket there for sure and spread out them other 3 races.
While we're on the subject, is there anything that can threaten Burnham Square? What if he regresses and comes back a little bit? Is there a horse in here that could beat him?
I didn't think so. Maybe the 2 has a little chance, but I thought this horse would just walk around there. I just can't find anybody even remotely close. And I tried. I just kept staring at it like, how do we beat this horse? And I just couldn't. I couldn't find anything.
Maybe if you draw a line through the last performance, Anagata has a shot. And the horse did win 2 in a row, one at Turfway, one at Houston, and ran a close third on the Fountain of Youth Day card in the McDermott maybe, but you got to be forgiving of that last start, and I wouldn't want anything less than probably 8-1 on the horse because you're going
Yeah.
to get 1-9 on the big shot Burnham Square. So, uh, also real quick, just give your top selection in the Preakness, and I'll give mine.
Yeah, I like Ocelli, the two horse. I think gonna come from way back, make a move, and hopefully come storming down the middle of that track about 5, 6 wide. And I just think he's the best closer, and I think a closer has to win.
And I went with number 7, The Hell We Did. I think a horse has a massive upside potential in a race where I'm not thrilled with anything else in there. So I'm just going to take a price on a horse that I think might be okay, especially down the road. But maybe we'll see his best come tomorrow. And so, yeah, The Hell We Did, number 7 for me at 15-1. If you want, go check out our YouTube channel and you will see our Preakness Stakes preview posted there. We've got it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. But that's all for now. And good luck on your Saturday spot plays. Good luck with your selections in the Preakness. And we'll see you next week. Everybody have a great weekend.